Hi friends, today we are going to see the past year NEET questions for the chapter Biological Classification. So already we have completed 5 parts of this chapter. So today in this video we will cover part 6. So let's begin with the first question, which was asked in the year 2016. One of the major components of cell wall of most fungi is dash. So fungi, so what is the work or the role of a cell wall? Why should an organism has a cell wall? See, cell wall contributes to the protection, right? Not just protection. Other than that, it contributes to the rigidity of the cell. Okay, it contributes to the rigidity of a cell. A cell wall is a rigid structural layer which provides protection and structural support to the cells. So here the composition of the cell wall will vary from one species to a species. Now for example, if you take bacteria, the cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Okay, peptidoglycan. Likewise, if you take fungi, their cell wall is made up of chitin. Okay, so here what is this chitin? See, in fungi the cell wall is composed of a strong covalent linkage of chitin, glucans and glycoproteins. Alternatively, in case of land plants, the cell wall is composed. So plants have a cell wall made up of cellulose. Likewise, the cell wall component or the cell wall structure or the cell wall composed of, they all vary from species to species. For bacteria it is peptidoglycan, for cellulose it is plants, then you have chitin which belongs to fungi. Therefore the correct answer to this question is option A, chitin. Next question here, which one of the following statement is wrong? So out of the 4 statements, one statement is wrong. We'll go one statement by statement. Cyanobacteria is also called as blue-green algae. This statement is correct, right? Cyanobacteria is also called as blue-green algae. Golden algae are also called as desmids. This is also correct. Eubacteria are also called as false bacteria. This is where the option is wrong. Eubacteria is also called as true bacteria. The correct answer to this question is option C. So out of the 4 statements, which statement is wrong? If you see, it is option C. Eubacteria and Archaebacteria are structurally similar, but they have different molecular characteristics. And very important thing to note here is Archaebacteria have a cell wall which is made up of fatty acids, while Eubacteria, they have a normal like rest of the bacteria which is made up of peptidoglycan. That is why Archaebacteria have the ability to withstand extreme conditions. Okay, this is one major difference between Eubacteria and Archaebacteria. This is just to add on to the information that you have to know. The correct answer is option C. Next question here. Which one of the following matches is correct? They are asking us the correct one here. Okay, so here if you see, you're given 4 options here. The first one is Alternaria. The first one is Alternaria, sexual reproduction, and Deuteromycetes. Mucor, reproduction is by conjugation, Ascomycetes. Agaricus is parasitic fungus. Okay, so out of the 4 options given here, the first option is right, Alternaria. The sexual reproduction is obviously absent in it, and it belongs to the family Deuteromycetes. Okay, which lacks sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction alone is seen in Alternaria. Okay, Alternaria exhibits asexual reproduction. Always remember this. And it belongs to the class of Deuteromycetes. When you talk about fungi, you have different classes: Basidomycetes, Ascomycetes, Deuteromycetes. So this particular answer is correct. The first option is correct. And as I said, they undergo asexual reproduction. So that reproduction is with the help of conidiospores. The conidiospore structure will be like this, where you'll have the spores embedded in it, and these spores will be transported from air or any other medium where reproduction will happen under favorable conditions. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option A. That is the first one. Okay, next question here. True nucleus is absent in dash. So you're given 4 options here. What do you mean by true nucleus? That you need to answer, right? First you need to answer what is true nucleus. See, true nucleus is nothing but a proper well-defined nucleus. Okay, so you're given 4 options here. What are the 4 options given here? Mucor, Volvox, Anabaena, and Vulgaria. So out of the 4 options given here, the correct answer goes to option D, Anabaena. Okay, so here Anabaena is a cyanobacteria which lacks a true nucleus because of the absence of nuclear membrane. So as I said, true nucleus meaning is they have a well-defined nucleus. Well-defined nucleus in the sense it should have the presence of nuclear membrane. Okay, it should have the presence of nuclear membrane. While in the rest, Wucheria, then Nucor, Volvox, all have true nucleus, that is they have a nuclear membrane around it, while Anabaena does not have a nuclear membrane. Therefore the correct answer to this question is option D, Anabaena. And you can see the microscopic image of Anabaena. So this is how it looks under the microscope. So next, moving on to the next question here, the imperfect fungi which are decomposers of litter and help in mineral cycling belong to dash. So as I already said, when we talk about fungi, you have advantages and disadvantages, right? Advantages and disadvantages. Fungus is a plural, fungus means singular form and fungi means plural form. Fungi which includes yeast, rust, smuts, mildews, then you have molds, mushrooms. So the edible part of the fungi, the edible thing that we intake is in the form of mushrooms. Now when we come to the decomposing part, you're given 4 options here. Okay, the correct answer goes to option D, deuteromycetes. So what do you know about deuteromycetes? Now just now we saw an organism under deuteromycetes. See, deuteromycetes are, of course, they are fungi. They are also called as imperfect fungi. You have to remember this. Okay, they are also called as imperfect fungi. The fungi which do not fit into the commonly established taxonomic classification of fungi. Deuteromycetes in which true sexual state is uncommon or so we saw in the earlier question, right, where we saw an alternaria who does not exhibit sexual reproduction. It undergoes only asexual reproduction. So that is why it is called as imperfect. Okay, so what is meant by deuteromycetes? They undergo asexual reproduction and their mode of reproduction is with the help of gonadiospores. Okay, that also we discussed in the earlier question. So here also called as imperfect fungus when compared to the other fungus. These fungi will not produce asexually. They do not produce sexually, so they are known as imperfect fungi. The somatic body is characterized by the production of septate mycelium, branched hyphae, and an asexual life cycle. Now the one which helps in decomposing, out of the 4, it is deuteromycetes. The correct answer is option D. Class deuteromycetes comprise of imperfect fungi and they are helpful in decomposing the organic waste. Therefore the correct answer is option D. Next question here. You have to choose the wrong statement, and this was asked in the year 2015. So you're given 4 options here. We'll go one by one. Neurospora is used in the study of biochemical genetics. That is true. Okay. Morels and truffles are poisonous mushrooms. Okay. Yeast is unicellular and useful in fermentation is also correct. Penicillin, which is used as antibiotics, is also correct. Morels and truffles are actually not poisonous mushrooms. Okay. They belong to the family of ascomycetes, and morels and truffles are used as food source for humans. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option B. Out of the 4 statements, option B is said to be wrong. Actually, they are the edible food which can be consumed, morels and truffles. Okay. Next question here. Which one of the following fungi contains hallucinogens? What do you mean by hallucinogens? How can you describe them? There should be a description, right? So fungi, if you can clearly see, there is certain we would have heard the term called hallucination. Okay, now this hallucinogen is actually a psychoactive agent which will cause hallucination. So what is hallucination? It's actually a disorder where you will feel Even when those things don't happen, you have a meaning, you have a pretense in you as though it happened in your life. At least, so it's a feeling. It hasn't happened, but you have the feeling it has happened. So that is the meaning of hallucination. Now, certain fungi have some hallucinogens in them, which causes hallucinations when intaken. The common types of hallucinogens are, you have dissociatives and delirants. But out of the fungi, okay, hallucinogens which are produced by fungi are there. Okay, hallucinogenic fungi, you will simply call it as hallucinogenic fungi. So out of the four options given here, the correct answer is option B, Amnesia muscaria. Several mushrooms such as this particular species, they secrete a hallucinogenic substance like psilocybin and psilocin. These substances may destroy your brain cells, and a power of perception will occur in human beings. So it is the perception where you can see things which hasn't happened in you. Okay, it's the perception, the feeling that you have in you, thinking that it hasn't happened, but you have the feeling it has happened. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option B. Okay, next question here. Which one of the following is true for fungi? Very easy question for you to answer. You have four options here. Phagotrophs, they lack rigid cell wall. They are heterotrophs, they lack nuclear membrane. So out of four options, it is understood option C is the right answer, because fungi, if you see, they are totally heterotrophic. They depend on another source for food. Okay, so that is the meaning of heterotroph. Autotrophs are just the opposite. They can prepare their own food. Fungi lack chlorophyll because hence they cannot prepare their own food. Okay, they can grow where organic material is available, so they are called mostly as heterotrophs, as they acquire the nutrient from another source. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option C, they are heterotrophs. Next question here. Membrane-bound organelles are absent in dash. So you're given four options here. When we say membrane-bound organelles, we have everything into account. Ribosomes, mitochondria, chloroplasts, everything. Now, out of the four options given here, what do you think will be the right answer? Membrane-bound organelles are absent in dash. It is a bacterium. So we all know bacteria is a prokaryote, and bacteria only lacks membrane-bound organelles. So you have four options here. So clearly look at the four options and identify which is a bacteria here. Saccharomyces, Chlamydomonas, Plasmodium. Plasmodium is a protozoan. Okay, and Saccharomyces is a yeast, Chlamydomonas is an algae, while Streptococcus belongs to bacteria. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option B. Membrane-bound organelles are absent in Streptococcus because they belong to prokaryotes, which means they are a bacteria and particularly belong to the kingdom Monera. Monerians are prokaryotes and they lack membrane-bound organelles like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, and so on. Chlamydomonas and Plasmodium are eukaryote and they have membrane-bound organelles. Okay, therefore the correct answer to this question is option B, Streptococcus. Easy question. So when you get questions like that, first analyze out of the four options which is eukaryote, prokaryote, so it will be easy for you to answer. Next question here. Which one of the following, which one is a wrong pairing for the disease and the causal organism? Easy question again. You're given four options here. We'll go one by one. Black rust of wheat. It's caused by gramnus. Yes, that is right. Loose smut of wheat. It is caused by Astilago nuda. That is also right. Root knot of vegetables, which is caused by melodogyne. Okay, it's called as eliodogyne, and that is also right. The late blight of potato, which is caused by Alternaria solani, that is wrong. Okay, when we talk about late blight of potato, okay, it's the disease which is caused in potato. That is caused by an oomycete or a water mold, which belongs to the family Phytophthora. Okay, so late blight, or it's called the late blight in potato, and the causative organism here is not Alternaria. It is caused by the family Phytophthora infestans. It can infect and destroy the leaves, stems, roots, and tubers of potato and tomato plants. What are the symptoms? If you see, there might be lesions which appear on the leaves and stems which clearly show the signs of infection. So therefore the correct answer to this question is option D, late blight of potato. So you can see the lesions to the right side of how it will appear on the leaves of the potatoes. So this is how lesions appear on the leaf. Next question here. Which pair of the following belongs to basidiomycetes? What all comes under basidiomycetes first? Let's discuss basidiomycetes. We saw deuteromycetes in the earlier questions, right? Now what is basidiomycetes? Of course it's a fungi. It's any group of fungi that have a septate hyphae and spores borne in the basidium. It includes rust, smuts, mushrooms, puffballs, etc. etc. Apart from that, what are basidiomycetes commonly known as? More specifically, they are called as basidiomycota. They include groups, we all saw that, right? What are the 5 typical basidiomycetes that we know? They are mushrooms, puffballs, stinghorns, rust, and smuts. So so they have many work or function that they possess. They sometimes help in decomposing also. Many basidiomyca obtain nutrition by decaying the dead organic matter like wood, leaf litter, and all that. So here, which pair of the following belongs to basidiomycetes? The correct answer is bird nest fungi and puffballs. The class basidiomycetes includes the members that produce their basida and basidiospores or in the basidiocarp. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option D. Next question here. Ergot of rye is caused by the species of dash. Okay, what do you mean by ergot of rye? It's a plant disease actually. Okay, it is a plant disease that is caused by the fungus. Okay, it is called as claviceps or Claviceps purpura. They are so called because they replace the grain of the ray is dark purplish, from which the sexual stage of the life cycle will form after overwintering. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is Claviceps. Option C is the answer. So here you can see the image of ergot of rye, where you can see here, right? You can see here how the image is. The ray becomes dark. Okay, so it is caused by this particular fungi, Claviceps purpurae. Okay, so therefore the correct answer to this question is option C. Next question here. Which of the following environmental conditions are essential for the optimum growth of Nucor on a piece of bread? So this is actually a question, and it's a standard question, and you have to know it. So you have about 4 options here. Temperature about 25 degrees Celsius, temperature of about 5 degrees Celsius. See, 5 degrees Celsius is not suitable, therefore this cannot be taken as the answer. Relative humidity of 5% also is not necessary. Relative humidity should be 95% and it should be in a shady place. Therefore the correct answer to this question is A, D, and E. Nucor is a fungus, and most of the fungi require optimum temperature at least from 25 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius, and they require proper moisture. At least 28 to 30 degrees Celsius is required. Okay, and usually if there is too much of sun, the moisture that is present on it will get dried up, so they will require a shady place, and moisture is also required for the growth. Therefore the correct answer is option A. So here, Nucor requires a temperature of 25 degrees Celsius, a humidity of 95%, and a shady place to grow. See, even if you have humidity there, and if there's too much of sun, there's no use. The organism cannot survive, because the sun will obtain, or it will absorb all the humidity from that particular material and it will leave dried. That is why it will require all these 3 aspects for it to grow properly. Next question here. Viruses that infect bacteria, multiply, and causes their lysis are called as dash. It's a very easy question for you to answer. See, there is a particular virus which destroy bacteria. If you had remember, viruses that get integrated with the bacterial host genome is called as lysogenic. Viruses which transmit its DNA into a biological cell and divide within the bacterial cell, which will cause the breakdown of the bacterial cell. Therefore, it is called as lytic. Okay, so those enzymes which help in this process are called as lysosomes. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option C, lytic. Okay, next question here. Mycorrhiza represents dash. Okay, this is again an easy question for you to answer. See, when you look at this term mycorrhiza, it shows a combination of two. So it is a symbiotic relationship. Mycorrhiza is a symbiotic association which happens between a fungi plus the roots, the rhizoids, the roots of higher plants. Okay, roots of higher plants. Okay, mycorrhiza form woody covering over the fungal hyphae on the surface and remain on the upper layers. It will have two types of ecto and endomycorrhiza. In some, the endomycorrhiza fungal hyphae will develop in some organs called vesicles, while sometimes it also forms VAM. What do you mean by VAM? Verbascular, avascular mycorrhiza. So you have ecto and endo coming under this. So therefore, mycorrhiza is a symbiotic relationship. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option C. So whatever I explained is to your right side. You can read it if you have time. The correct answer to this question is option C. When we talk about symbiotic relationship, you have to remember one thing here. They both live in mutual understanding and there is no enmity on both sides. Whatever required on both sides, they will share and take. They will not affect anybody. So it's called as mutual relationship. So in science, you will call it as symbiotic relationship. Already we saw the symbiotic relationship for lichens. They highly show this kind of relationship. So with this we complete the part 6 of biological classification. Hope to meet you in the next part of the same chapter. Thank you for watching my video.